How's it going, everyone? Want to go over a recent release that seemingly has absolutely tanked from a commercial standpoint. And I don't want to be the person that runs laps over a game flopping, although I would be a little bit hypocritical because let's be real, after Concord flops, your boy's gonna be running a lot of laps in Celebration. Not necessarily Celebration, but I just don't really like Sony going the live service route, and yeah, Concord is going to be a gigantic failure, and you know, we're having a very lackluster year from first party from Sony this year, so that game will probably be a big flop, and a game that I'm sure because of one company associated with the development of the game, people are going to be happy that maybe it didn't do all too well, is Flintlock Siege of Dawn. Now, A44 Games and Kepler Interactive did give me a copy of Flintlock Siege of Dawn. I played it. I have to say, like, I'm not a big Souls-like guy. I like some of the platforming elements in Flintlock, and I like some of the traversal mechanics, but overall, the game didn't click for me as an action game. I thought the narrative wasn't engaging whatsoever, but, you know, there is something major to talk about in regards to that game, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But Flintlock the Siege of Dawn company, A44 Games, is expecting massive layoffs. According to someone on Reset Era on July 21st, employees are expecting layoffs since the game apparently bombed. I have a friend of a friend who resigned from the company is expecting massive layoffs. Does not bode well, sadly. It doesn't really take rocket science to figure this out, given that this game came out back on July 18th. It's only been 2 weeks since this game has come out, and there is barely anyone playing it. If you go to the community hub on Steam, there's so few people playing it that it doesn't even give you a number. You have to go on SteamDB, which I am doing as I am literally recording this video. Let's go on the chart section. We have 77 people playing this game. We're talking about Concord's open beta being a flop at 1,500 people, and that was a free open beta. Flintlock has 77 people. Well, what was its all-time peak? Its all-time peak on launch day was 648 concurrent players. Now, that is Steam and PC only, so obviously there's more players on other platforms, but that is an absolute disaster, an unmitigated disaster. And they had noted that there were 500,000 players total for Flintlock the Siege of Dawn. That might seem like an impressive number, and without context, that is an impressive number. However, with the added context of this game is available on Xbox Game Pass, this is very possible. People that A, booted the game up and then immediately dropped it, or maybe played it, but Game Pass is making up a gigantic portion of that, and 500,000 players, I would assume, includes people that bought it on Steam and then refunded the game, which, you know, that is possible as well. A game like Chia had over 1 million players total, but yeah, 500,000 players doesn't really tell you the whole story as far as how this game did. If you look at the Steam concurrent player library, or concurrent player count, that is an unmitigated disaster, I think is the only way to put it. Now, the elephant in the room when it comes to One Flintlock Siege of Dawn is the fact that this game did have a working relationship with one Sweet Baby Inc. Sweet Baby Inc., let's just be honest, they do not have the best reception in all of gaming, and I would really advocate for publishers going forward, and developers, for lower key games. Not necessarily, it doesn't matter if Spider-Man 2 is working with Sweet Baby Inc. because it did, and that game's gonna do well regardless. But if Flintlock the Siege of Dawn, a brand new IP, you know, games like Contraband, which is coming out from Avalanche Studio, I just think it's not a great idea to work with Sweet Baby Inc. because of the negative perception that a game is immediately going to have. You're going to split your user base. I am not going to get into a debate on whether or not you should be mad about Sweet Baby Inc. if it's an overreaction. The reality is, and you cannot counter this, is that if you work with Sweet Baby Inc., you are going to have a perception attached to your game by a large portion of people. Maybe to you individually, you that's watching this video being like, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's great that it doesn't matter to you. For a portion of people, and I would say it's a significant portion of people, it is going to matter and it's going to push them away from a game. Now, with Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, and Alan Wake 2, it's not going to push people away to the point of not checking those games out. Those games are going to be okay. But Flintlock the Siege of Dawn it's just gonna get crapped on. And you don't want a game like that from a commercial standpoint to already be playing with handicaps on it and handcuffs attached to it, because I really don't believe that people are gonna go like, oh my god, Sweet Baby Inc. is working with Flintlock Siege of Dawn, that makes me interested in the game, let me go check this out. Maybe for some people it will, but I don't think that's a good idea, just because from the sense of you are affecting the perception that people are going to have. Perception, not reality, but the perception, and oftentimes perception is ultimately reality, but the perception of a game like a Flintlock, like a Contraband, and I'm on their Wikipedia page, some of their upcoming titles, A South of Midnight, you know, like Marvel's Wolverine. They're helping out with Marvel's Wolverine. You think Marvel's Wolverine is gonna get affected one bit by that? Marvel's Wolverine ain't getting affected by working with Sweet Baby Inc. You know, that game is gonna be fine, but I look at something like a Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, a Tales of Kenzera Zao as well. That was in the news cycle a little bit, especially when you're talking about lower key games like this. You want that positive buzz. You want that positive PR. You want the attention around a game to be incredibly positive, because Marvel's Wolverine is going to really hit the casual audience. A lot of people are going to talk about that game, and that's like, there will be people talking about the Sweet Baby Inc. element, but it's not going to be the prevailing discussion. With Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, this is going to be a more niche game, and that Sweet Baby Inc. discussion is going to be at the forefront a lot of the times, and I just don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze at this point as far as attaching your game to that company. And I'm not even talking about what the company does, I am just talking about what the perception is, and that is something that you cannot really counter. That is something that for you, again, it might not matter. You might not care, and that is totally perfectly fine. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. People have the right to be called out for their opinion if the opinion's crazy, as I have been called out for my opinion several times, but everybody's entitled to having an opinion. But the reality is there is a large portion of people that are gonna have a different perception attached to a lot of games based on them working with Sweet Baby Inc. And while it won't matter for a Marvel's Wolverine, while it won't matter for an Alan Wake 2, a Spider-Man 2, I would argue for your games like a Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, like a Tales of Kenzera Zao, maybe even a Hyper Light Breaker, which I am super excited for. I think that game's gonna be awesome, and I'm gonna play it regardless, but I do think it hurts perception. Hyper Light Breaker has the benefit of coming from not a well-known studio, but, you know, Hyper Light Drifter was really well received, so I think that game will be fine, but you get the idea. A game like a South of Midnight, a game like a Contraband, Flintlock, Tales of Kenzera Zao, games at that level, I do think it could get a little dicey in terms of hurting a perception of that game before it even gets off the ground, and there's going to be a portion of people that are going to be cheering for a game like that to just fail right off the rip. It's something worth considering, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. I know this is going to be a little bit of a controversial topic whenever we talk about, you know, Sweet Baby Inc. and their, you know, their attachment to gaming, and I often see a lot of people talk about Sweet Baby Inc. in my comment section. It can get devolved into madness, let's just put it that way, but let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.